Thank you, Lauren. Before I start this speech, I just want to give a quick thank you to Dr. Oakes and the entire LHS community for welcoming me after I was honestly very lost following my freshman year. And speaking of Dr. Oakes, it's a fairly well-known fact that anyone giving a graduation speech has to read it before her in a panel. And when Dr. Oakes read my speech, I can only imagine that she looked everyone else in the eyes and said, "Man, that's the most mediocre piece of writing I've ever seen in my lifetime." Take that as you may. So about 3 months ago, when they announced who would be giving speeches, the administration gave me this sheet of paper with a bunch of graduation speech do's and do nots on it. This included some pretty obvious stuff like no insulting specific people, or no swearing, and some more surprising things like practice your speech. Shocking, right? But one of the things I really took issue with was the line that said to limit your analogies, because for me, limiting my analogies is like trying to catch a Canadian goose without a net, because it's difficult, painful, and from experience, ultimately things are going to fly out of control no matter what you do. Believe it or not, the sheet also said to limit my one-liners. So if we take my abuse of the no analogies rule even further, we find that this sheet represents society. And as teenagers, we've been told how to live for our entire lives. Even at a relaxed school like Littleton, there's still a code that dictates how we should dress. And our classmates still define what sort of study habits we need to have. And even who we sit next to at a lunch table is not totally a free choice, because there's still some element of trying to be cool or popular. And none of this really actually matters. In 20 years, the societal expectations from high school will be completely gone. Does anyone here remember when silly bands were cool? Yeah. How about Ask.fm? Or this one's for all the parents out there. High fashion shoulder pads. Yeah. Hopefully all of these are things that are gone for good. And it's the same thing with high school. No matter how much you promise to stay in touch, you'll barely think of the friends you've made during these last 4 years, and your memory of the LHS fight song will be even more vague and distant than it already is. And the only thing that you'll recall from high school biology class is that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Because your life as an adult will be completely different than life as a teenager. And sometimes life is going to be like being attacked by 37 bright chartreuse Hoover brand vacuum cleaners. It's weird, unnecessary, and quite frankly, just sucks. There will be times when it looks like things will never get better. You'll be down on your luck, and you'll start going out with friends less, and start struggling to wake up every morning regardless of how many shots of Starbucks espresso you drink. And you'll start going to your plain old job without any passion or future aspirations, and eventually you're going to be on your last straw. This shows up here. And like an Eiffel Tower made out of toothpicks, everything will literally fall apart. And it's times like these when it's all too easy to give in to the expectations of society and all too easy to live an average life. And that's not to say that being average is bad, but why would you choose to be average when you could be, well, above average? I believe that the best way to do this is to live every adventure in life. And it doesn't matter if this is going out for tacos at 3 in the morning, or taking the internship to study the white-bellied go-away bird in Eastern Africa. Trust me, that's a real thing. Or writing in red ink instead of blue ink on your English final because you felt like it. Or even packing up all of your belongings and moving to Azerbaijan because there is nothing in life that says that you need a college degree to be happy. Life is only as boring and normal as you choose to let it be, because at the end of the day, you are your own person and you can make the life that you choose. So eat every deep-fried cricket. Yeah. Talk to that person you've always had a crush on. Maybe even take a different road home from school. And most importantly, never become boring. It's easy to become lost in the monotony of an ordinary life, but I believe that every person here has the capability to find the loopholes in life and to be extraordinary. There will be hundreds of sheets that tell you what you can't do in life, but every one of them will still have something that you can do. Nobody can ever keep you from living life without your own magic, and very rarely will a sheet say that you cannot have props. Thank you. Now, at Senior Awards Convocation, they mentioned we did a coin flip to see which valedictorian spoke first, but the real competition here was for who got to introduce our next speaker. So without further ado, on my left side here, standing at 6'1", she may be a doctor, but she still has sick flows. The lean, mean, balloon-popping machine, it's Dr. Amy.